40 years in the making. Songs that connected them. Songs that gave them a foundation for a sound that would become their signature. Songs they still love to sing. The songs that started it all. The band is Skydiggers. The album is West Montrose. I'm Joel Stewart, and this is Employee of the Myth, Season 5. Today's episode, Andy and Josh, West Montrose, Side A. And now, joining Jane Gowan and me in conversation, Andy Maize and Josh Finlayson, Skydiggers.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
It's Andy here.
Andy.
I'm Josh.
Hi, Josh.
My name is Joel.
Hello, Joel.
I'm Jane.
Hi, Jane.
And over there we have Tim Vesely.
Hey, Tim.
Hey, Tim.
Lovely to be here with you all. Should we go? All right.
Bum, 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 bum.
Welcome to a new season of Employee of the Myth.
You wanted the best, you got the best.
Feels like just yesterday we were doing Dreams and Second Chances. Talking about
does.
that album.
It does.
You guys work fast.
We do.
Or else time
I mean, that
flies.
was barely a year ago, wasn't it?
That's right.
So, Joel, you were saying that this is the 20th?
By my non-professional count, I believe that this album, West Montrose, may be your 20th studio album, which is pretty incredible.
Well, that's as high as we can count because
I've taken off my...
using all of our digits.
Yes, I've taken off my shoes and socks, and
That's
I've
right.
arrived at 20.
Perfect.
So congratulations on this milestone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And happy 40th anniversary of your, maybe not your friendship, but your professional...
Yes, relationship. Yeah.
Relationship.
Yeah, making music. Yeah.
Yeah.
Recording music, certainly, yeah.
Yeah,
We started
absolutely.
a bit before that, but
Before that, you were in... Josh was in Ramblers. You were in Directive 17.
With a K.
Yeah, exactly. Let's
Still
get
the
that
best
right.
science fiction band name ever.
How long were you West Montrose before you became Skydiggers?
not very long. Andy was singing with Andrew Cash and Jim Ediger. It was like a trio. Just prior to Andrew making his first solo record with Island. And Andy and I would sing a few songs during that set, as would Catherine Rose and Kirsty MacLeod and Jason Collette from Lazy Grace. They would get up and sing a few songs during that. It was like a Monday, what did he call it? Acoustic meltdown.
Acoustic meltdown.
Right.
Was that the Spadina Hotel?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
the beverage room, which was the main floor room. And that's where we started, because Pete Cash used to do the door for Andrew there. And he handed Andy a cassette of some of his songs one week.
Didn't even know he played
Spoke.
guitar. Or...
Didn't even know he spoke. That's sort of how. And Andrew went off to make his first record. And I think we sort of took it over with Lazy Grace initially.
Yeah.
And then they dispersed, or I don't know what happened, but we sort of took it over. And that Pete joined us, and then Ron joined us, and then Wayne, who we'd known for several years, ended up also joining. And that's how the band started. That was like 1988. That all happened.
Yeah, 87 too. Yeah.
87, yeah.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. Although for anniversary purposes, we use 88.
Yeah. Sounds good.
But from about 85 to 87, we were hanging out and playing songs. I remember the first time Josh and I played in public was at an open mic night in a church. Do you remember the church?
Well, I think it's the one. Is it Huron and Bloor?
Yeah, I
The
think it was
Church
around
of
there.
Rock and Roll.
Oh my God!
And it what was it? What was it
Fat
called?
Alberts or
Fat
something?
Alberts
Yeah.
or something
Bobby
like that.
Wiseman was playing that
Yeah.
night, I think.
And so we had, I think, one song prepared, maybe two, but it was a Jimmy Rogers song, I Was a Stranger. And I think we were so nervous, we signed up and then we went outside for a walk around the block, smoked a joint, came back in and played, and it felt great.
There you go.
I have no recollection of it.
But it was, it was an open mic night, our first performance. That wasn't at, a family or a friend's house.
Right.
Yeah.
So what motivated making this record and revisiting some of those early songs that you bonded over and all those kind of things? And how did we get here with this West Montrose album?
Well, we had met Jimmy Boskill. I met him through Greg Keeler, who he'd done a bunch of recording with Greg, and Greg, really sang his praises. This is prior to him joining Blue Rodeo. And then we had played with him a few times. Jim Cuddy does a show at the Horseshoe pretty much every year. It's a benefit for the food bank, and Jimmy was in the band for at least a couple of those occasions. So we met him there, and I just thought, wow, it would be great to record with him. And he's had a studio for a while, but he had opened up this new studio, and I just said, I really wanted to go and check it out and work with him, and that was really what motivated it.
You've been talking about it for several years.
Yeah.
That we should go up for a few days and just record some material, and it really made sense. Last June, when we went to the studio, the timing was great, and then I think it occurred to me that it was the 40th. Coming up was the 40th anniversary of Josh and me playing together, and it just made sense to revisit a lot of that material in an acoustic setting, with Jimmy and Josh just sitting playing, acoustic instruments.
Yeah, it's all live. We re-sang a couple of vocals. Mm-hmm. But
not you, eh? You were good?
No, I didn't, because
Andy needed to recut a couple.
No, I couldn't. I couldn't, because when you're playing live, it's hard to recut your vocal. So, but the version of Alberta is a live vocal of Andy's, which is like, to me, a real highlight of the record. Mm-hmm. But just all the musicians we play with now, Jimmy's so intuitive and so remarkable that it was just so inspired, and it was just a lot of fun. And doing it live like that, a lot of those songs we've been playing for years, and then just kind of redoing some of the versions of older songs. Some of them are similar, some of them are a bit different. It was just he's got a great energy, and a real positive energy. Jimmy does, and that was it was 2 days of recording. We did 10 songs in 2 days.
Wow.
We could have gone back and probably recorded another 10 songs in a couple, and maybe we will one day, but it just seemed like, okay, well, that captured something, and that was fun.
We'll call the second album West Montrose's.
Or East Montrose.
East Montrose.
Just so people know, this is an album of some traditional songs and some old Skydiggers songs.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And you're basically stripping it down, going back to basics, freeing yourselves up once again, like you once were. Just guitars and voices and some accompaniment. There are full band stuff in there, but a lot, it's like focusing on vocals and
Jimmy played a little
instruments.
bit of upright bass, in addition to he can basically play anything with strings on it.
Incredible.
And so there is a minimal amount of overdubbing to the live tracks, or Josh and Jimmy playing either guitar or mandolin, or what else did he play live, Josh? He played tenor guitar?
He played the tenor guitar on the... Yeah, that was funny when we pulled out the Blue Railroad Train, the Delmore Brothers song. I mean, he is like got an incredible knowledge of music as well. Yeah. And so he knew right away, like the Delmore Brothers, one of them played guitar, the other one played tenor guitar. So it has this great, their vocals obviously weave and sound great together, but their playing also had that sort of blood harmony to it. And he immediately went and got his tenor guitar. And so it's sort of very authentic that way as well. I would say that's something that he really brings to the table. Like there's an authenticity to his playing and to his energy, which is pretty infectious.
We would just sit down and run a song, and he'd just play.
Yeah.
He might never have heard the song before. You couldn't tell one way or the other if he'd ever heard the song before.
Amazing.
Because he just sat down and and played.
What about vibes of that studio? It's not located in the big city or anything like that. Did the location of the place kind of help inspire or help you rid yourselves of excess in a way, or is that
it's in an old farmhouse, in the eastern part of almost in the GTA now.
Right.
But it's about an hour outside of Toronto, on close to the lake, and it's a great. It's an area where my ancestors lived, so I feel at home there for sure.
Northumberland County, it's like the bathhouse, really. But it's an old farmhouse. It's not as big or ornate as the bathhouse, or as old. But that's sort of it's a familiar feel and vibe. So I think we felt pretty comfortable right away.
Well, there's always like pressure, both live and recording, to do this full band thing. Do you think there's a certain power to just stripping it back, whether you're playing live or doing it as an album?
I don't know if we even really think of it that way. This is what we've always done. We've always alternated or gone with whatever feels like the right thing at the right time. And when Josh and I started playing together, we had both been playing in bands that required, a full setup in order to even write a song.
Yeah.
And we were coming out of that going, well, let's strip it right back to one guitar, two voices. We can go anywhere, play for anyone at any time. And I think even 40 years later, that is still our motto or our mission statement, is to be able to do that and to write songs where we can do that and not feel that, we can't play that song because we don't have
a
glockenspiel.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And
maybe when we recorded it in Victoria and we did that record with Joby,
Hide Your Light, Bide Your Time.
Yeah. A lot of that was because of COVID. We were starting to get together and just playing songs, just the two of us. And we recorded them to a click track, and they were sort of built around that feel as well. So and we've made several recordings like that over the years. But it is sort of capturing the song and the idea, like almost always Andy's vocal is live with a lot of those recordings. So that really sets the tone for anything you add to it as well. But it's also great to have something like this stripped down as well, that we have. It's great to be able to do both, because it's definitely more exposed, but there's a real reward in being able to pull it off. Especially when you're playing in great rooms. We just did a benefit show, the Matthew Perry show, where we played at Kerner Hall. And it's such a beautiful room. And we played a couple of tunes, 2 or 3 songs, I can't remember. And it was just like, wow, the room is like another member of the band. And it's such an amazing realization to come to when you're performing.
Well, it's 10 tracks. Yeah. We're going to do first 5 in this episode.
Side A.
Should we start getting in?
Yeah.
Delving into the tracks?
Yes.
Track 1.
Alice Graham takes me by the hand and leads me into the rolling hills of Northumberland, where she once stood and now she wants me to stand. If I'd done what she wanted me to, I'd have lost my head. Andy, boy, she says to me, you're a long time dead. In my bed, in my dreams, in my car, there's a place that I've been before. Come out wherever you are. I can feel you watching me. If I'd done what you wanted me to, stayed in bed. Andy, boy, she says to me, you're a long time dead.
Who's Alice Graham? Is this a real person?
Yes, Alice Graham is buried in a cemetery sitting on top of a hill near Welcome, Ontario, so just north of Port Hope. Also near Elizabethtown, which there were mazes in Elizabethtown. Irish Protestants came over during the famine.
Yep.
And I think they settled in Northumberland County because of the rolling hills reminded them of home. And Alice Graham was the wife of Henry Maize. I believe it was Henry Maize. Wow. And I think she was born in, I want to say, County Fermanagh in Ireland, and died somewhere around, I think, 1840, 1850. And she's buried in there's a cemetery, a beautiful hillside looking out over Lake Ontario. And I had a dream before I went there for the first time that in the dream I was driving up towards the hill, and that's the line in my bed, in my dreams, in my car. Up ahead, there's a place that I've been before.
Oh.
Wow.
And that, I did have a dream about going, because my oldest brother John, who is the family historian, has the family Bible. He had been there, so he told me to go, and you could see the headstones. And
Wow.
If I'd done what she wanted me to, I'd have lost my shit.
I'd have lost my head.
Oh, is it head?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, I thought it was shit. Can I tell you a story? So you were one of the first bands we did a Dakota session with, right? Mm-hmm. I'm in the edit, and editor turns to me, we got the mixes back, it's all looking good, sounding good, and editor says, what are you going to do about that? And I said, what are you talking about? And he plays the chorus. If I'd done what she wanted me to, I'd have lost my shit. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to get fired for putting swear words on CMT. So I went to the captioning department, and when I submitted the lyrics, I changed it to, I'd have lost my ship.
Oh. I like that too.
Yes, I didn't know it was head. I'm so sorry.
That's
oh my
okay.
gosh, because I thought it was like some temptress elder. I didn't know the story of the song. I thought it was maybe about an older woman trying to seduce you. If I'd done what she wanted me to, I'd have lost my shit.
I mean, there's elements of my grandmother in there as well. My grandmother, Helen Locke Richardson.
Well, my head is blown right now.
Because when my brothers and I would go to stay at our grandparents' house in Coburg, the house was, like 1850 or 1855, and the beds seemed like they were like 4 feet off the ground.
Right.
They were high, but she would come into our room in the morning, my grandmother, and say, "Get up, boys, you're a long time dead."
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's a great line.
Yeah, as there is in so many lyrics, they come from different sources.
Oh.
But speaking of the Dakota sessions, so was that you recorded them for CMT's Dakota sessions?
That's correct.
And was this one of the first times you got to know Skydiggers, like Andy and Josh?
I knew Josh a little bit because we were neighbors. Josh got my number from Mike Plume, who lived in Nashville at the time, and Mike said, "Oh, you might get along well with my buddy Joel." And Josh called me, and I was like, "I don't need friends. It's a big city." "Well, what part of the city do you live in?" "West End." "Well, I live in the West End too. What part of the West End?" "Oh, Roncesvalles." "Well, I live in the Roncesvalles too." And "Oh, you're the guy who walks his dog across my window every day." When we kind of launched that initiative, it was actually Josh who kind of connected me with Cowboy Junkies, Mike and Margot. And so that was the first artist that we filmed, were Cowboy Junkies, and Andy and Josh they were part of the musical accompaniment for Cowboy Junkies.
Was that the first episode?
Yeah, and I think we did
didn't realize that. Okay.
Luke Doucette and the White Falcon that day.
Okay,
and
cool.
then I think...
But I encourage people to go and check those out online, because they're
it was
great.
cool.
And now that I know that your episode is family friendly...
That changes everything.
Take the R rating off of it.
Yeah.
That's right.
But actually, on that 6 songs we recorded, I think we had This Old Town in that show.
Yeah.
We had Dark Hollow and Alice Graham. So we did 3 of those tunes that day that are on this record.
So it must have been shortly after we made the record with Mike then. It must have been around that time that we recorded.
Like 2008 or so?
Yeah.
No, it was a great series, Joel. It really was.
Thanks, Andy.
You were very generous in your direction, and you could tell all the crew loved you. And
Well, nothing $20 won't cure, huh? Thank you very much.
everything sounds really great and looks awesome. For us, it's we're really proud, and you were generous to allow us to upload it fairly early on as well.
Yes. Yeah, you're very welcome. I get a kick out of getting to watch them myself.
Yeah.
So
Me too.
I use it as a nightlight for making love. That's the old Don Rickles line about the Bob Newhart show. I love his show. I use it as a nightlight for making love to the wife.
But this song, I'm going to bring
Coming
us back.
to a grinding halt.
We'll take a short break and we'll be right back. I didn't know this was a relative of yours.
Yeah.
I had a totally different perception of the song. I'm grateful for it. It all makes sense now. The rolling hills of Northumberland, yes.
This was first on road radio. Is that correct? You first recorded it for
Yeah. That's right.
1995.
Yeah.
That's right.
So you've been playing this song, for a long time.
30 years.
Yeah.
Still brings down the house.
How do you think that songs evolve and change, or that pot of soup that you never take off the stove kind of thing? Like, how do you think of songs and their evolution?
Well, I was thinking about this before we came in, and that song we did record prior to making Road Radio. We recorded with John Oliveira and Chris Marks. They had found a cottage up, where was it?
It was near Parry Sound.
Near Parry Sound, okay. It was this guy, Gord Carruthers' cottage. It was deep winter. And they had set up their recording gear in this cottage. And we recorded, I think, 4 or 5 tunes, all of which are really interesting. It was the first recording we did of Alice Graham. It was more of a finger-picking tune, but electric and full band. And it was maybe amongst the first recordings that Peter Von Halten did with us as well.
It was more of a shuffle.
It was more of a shuffle,
Like a train song.
Yeah. So that recording ended up, the whole idea of Road Radio, which was the name of their studio, it was a mobile studio, but it was in the day where they had a huge board, all this, huge, all this analog equipment. And they ended up finding this studio in Port Dover, Ontario, the Lighthouse Theatre. And
Which is closed for the winter.
yeah, so that we were able to, I guess they rented it, or I'm not sure, I don't even remember all the details, but maybe we just squatted, I don't know, for the winter. And we recorded probably about 40 songs there over the course of about 4 to 6 weeks. It was a long...
We went for a week in the fall, and that got us a record deal.
Right.
And then we went back for 6 weeks in the winter.
yeah.
Wow.
In Port
It was like
Dover,
lockdown in Port Dover.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway, we, a lot of songs, a lot of experimentation, which was a lot of fun. And the shuffle sort of shifted into whatever it became, which was sort of more of an Elvis-y feel. That's where it ended up. But the recording we just did with Jimmy on West Montrose, it's kind of more bluegrassy to me. It's kind of, and again, everything's a bluegrass tune to me. So that's kind of how it felt. And it seemed appropriate to be recording that song in that studio, in that place, it just seemed I think it's maybe the first thing we recorded as well for the record. It was,
And it was also almost the title for the record was going to be also, it was between
Northumberland, yeah,
Northumberland
that's right.
County
and West
Montrose.
Okay.
Whatever we decided, it was going to have a direction in the title.
Yes, it was.
Should we move on to track 2?
Oh, I think we should.
I'd rather be in
some dark hollow where the sun don't ever shine, than to be here alone, knowing that you're gone. That would cause me to lose my mind. So blow your whistle, freight train, carry me further on down the track. I am going away, I am leaving today. I'm going, but I ain't coming back. I'd rather be in some dark hollow where the sun don't ever shine, than to be stuck here in this big old city, in a small room with you on my mind. So blow your whistle, freight train, carry me further on down the track. I am going away, I am leaving today. I'm going, but I ain't coming back.
Dark Hollow, song by Bill Browning. Don't know much about him.
I don't know much about him either.
Okay.
Now, the Grateful Dead did that song too. Is that how you first?
No, that's not where I heard it first. I heard it first on a White Brothers record. Clarence White and his brothers. There's a live record from, I think it was Holland. So I don't know if this was after he was in the Byrds, Clarence White. A friend of mine gave me this live record, and I listened to it, and I just heard that song a lot, and I never listened to it with the idea of learning it. It was in my head, and I just, I kept singing it, and then I would pick up the guitar, and then I would start playing it, and I actually play it not even remotely like the original, like the chords are different. And then I found out more about the song, and for sure the Dad did it. And I also found out that the Good Brothers were, when they were James and the Good Brothers, Bruce and Brian used to play with James. I'm not sure what James's last name was, but before Larry Good joined the Good Brothers, they used to sing that song.
Oh, I see.
And that I found out, like Bruce told me that later on. Yeah. So, I mean, it's not really, it's very much an altered version of the song, but it's just one that I started singing, and we recorded it on the record we did with Michael Timmins.
The Dark Hollow album.
Yeah.
Finlayson Maize. Yeah.
That's right. And then, so when we went up to Jenny's studio, we didn't, when we had a pocket full of songs, but not really with any, we were just going to go check it out, but it was just one we played as well. And he played mandolin on it, so it felt great.
And you sing it great.
Yeah, you really do.
Thank you.
What keeps you coming back to that song? I mean, like there's a chorus and a verse and a half type thing, right? Maybe there's a songwriting lesson there in terms of its direct simplicity and economy.
Yeah.
Is that what attracts you to it?
I guess so, yeah. And also just the finger picking element to it. Like I'm definitely drawn to that style again. There's other songs on this record where, for me, hearing, I grew up, my dad had a lot of different eclectic records, and a few records he had were Chet Atkins records, and it was just sort of amazing that a guitar could make all that sound and do it. It was like a magic trick. So I like that, and that's often a vehicle. For me, it's a comfortable way to play. I don't know that I had given it a lot of thought, but I probably played it a few times. We probably played it and sang it, and I would have probably played it a bunch with Travis Good, up at his place, and just over the years it just sort of became something that I guess we incorporated into our...
part of the repertoire.
Yeah.
Your voice has this timeless quality to it, and it suits this Americana bluegrass style so much. Do you have main vocal influences or people you've tried to sing like over times? Or
it's funny because I didn't really feel I mean, I know I've said this before in this on this podcast with different records. I never felt comfortable with my voice the way I did with my guitar, or even like as a songwriter, I felt way more comfortable. And Andy used to say this, and I didn't really get it initially, but he said, you know, you write songs that you can't really sing, you know, like I didn't even think about that. But I guess I thought that if I can't sing them, he can sing them because he's a singer, or, you know, or someone else could sing them. So I think it was really more ultimately, discuss, and I think covers it's a great way to learn about your voice, you know, what works and what doesn't work. And so, yeah.
Yeah, I like this record that you're kind of, you know, you've traded off who's singing.
And then adding in Jesse's voice.
Yeah.
She sounds incredible.
Yeah.
Sounds incredible.
Talk about Jessie.
Yeah,
some of
really
those three-part harmonies.
Oh, yeah, no, she just elevate. I mean, you know, Andy says this often, like, we both have sort of character voices, and Jessie can do anything. You know, a bit like Derek Brady has got a great harmony voice that makes everyone sound better and in tune. In my case, but yeah, she definitely brings the game up a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first time you heard her, was it you that first heard her playing live somewhere, Andy, and then asked her to play with you guys?
About Jessie through a couple of people, maybe Dave Clark, and maybe Ann Bourne, or am I?
And I was going to say Lewis and Tanis.
Yeah,
because
definitely she was singing with
with
Tanis at the time, and this was around 2000 and 2002, around there is when I met Jessie. Yeah.
Boing, 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 boing.
That's what I was waiting for. Track 3. Shimmy up those words.
Shimmy up those words.
Finlayson Maize.
That was around in the first batch of songs we ever wrote together.
Oh, really?
And it was on the West Montrose record, the 45 that we did.
That played at 33 1/3.
Oh, I don't think I have that.
No, I
Do you have
not.
that, Joel?
No, I don't.
This must be a collector's item by now.
Well,
do you have any in your basements
no,
anywhere?
There's raccoon pee all over.
I think the raccoons got to the overstock in the garage, and I wish it was pee. Yeah, Josh and I we made a West Montrose 45 with Jamie Stanley in his basement apartment at 87 Dagmar.
Umbrella Studios.
And one of the highlights of that recording was I think Josh was playing my head with brushes, or I can't remember, or whether. Anyway, it was a recording that we made, and it was Wherever You Go, Shimmy Up Those Words, and Well, All Right. And we sent it off to World Records to get pressed in Bowmanville, Ontario, and we didn't know at the time about mastering or anything like that, and so they they said they would master it, and I'm sure it was some guy, at 1 a.m. after smoking a joint, and probably just stuck a needle on and created a mother. And we got the records back, and we were so excited, and it's like, suffer and suck it.
Bit of sibilance.
There was so much sibilance on,
Oh, dear.
Well, we've now corrected the wrong. We've now righted the wrong of the past.
Well, it was okay, but it was listenable. But you realize, if we'd had it mastered properly, that wouldn't have been an issue. So one day we will even correct that.
But Shimmy was definitely an early song, amongst the first songs we wrote. And again, kind of, from my memory of it, I mean, it's been a long time, but it has sort of a bluegrassy feel, but more instrumental, like Black Mountain Rag is the song that I think of. But just something, has a lot of energy, and it was when we started playing as a duo, it was great because it was a bit of a toe tapper, as Gordon Lightfoot would say. It was a good energy to fill in sets, and it's still kind of fun to play. I mean, it's one chord. It's literally one chord.
Oh wow!
It just goes through a bit of a cycle, but I'm not sure it ever changes chords.
Why fix it if it ain't broke?
Yeah.
Right?
It was around that time that the great state of Kansas was having a discussion about teaching evolution in the school system. They were talking about eliminating the theory of evolution from the educational system. I don't know what shimmy up those words means, but that you have learned to twist around is about, like in any argument, just taking whatever someone says to you and twisting it around on them, which some people are very good at.
I wonder why Kansas was like, we'll take the lead on this.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it had been, 60 years since the Scopes monkey trial?
Yep.
And here we are. Yeah. Well, here we are 40 years later, and we're back with the 10 Commandments in the classroom and creationism and all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I had a question about Wherever You Go, because that was also one of the first, if not the first, song you wrote together.
I think it was, yeah.
And it didn't get on the album. Was it a considered track?
I think we just recorded 10 songs in 2 days.
Okay.
It wasn't that it wasn't considered. It just, we didn't necessarily know what we were doing or what the results were going to be, but we realized pretty much after the first recording that we were getting some cool stuff, and there's only so much we could do. Yeah. So East Montrose, maybe it'll make it on East Montrose.
Central Montrose.
I mean, it was a song that it never really worked with the band, it wasn't, it worked better just the two of us. So we eventually recorded it, and I think it's good on Bittersweet Harmony, but it always worked as a duo tune,
There's that great footage of you guys playing. We're still talking about Wherever You Go on that TV show.
Yeah.
On Global TV,
That was like 1980, what?
7, I think.
1987, yeah.
And you two are just so fresh-faced just like...
Oh, my God.
But
your children look like you, Josh. Oh, my God. It's like watching young Max Finlayson up there, young Martin Finlayson up there.
I think I'm like 3 years younger than Max is now.
Right.
Yeah.
And you nailed it.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Did you feel like you nailed it? Do you remember how you felt after that? Were you nervous and needed to smoke a joint for that?
Yeah.
No.
What I remember is my brother Neil was with us for that. We all went to Global, and maybe Andy had been in a TV studio. I'd never been in one, so it was like, you walk in and it's just like
it's all fake.
It's like the big lie. You're going, oh my God, like this is really
yes. Television is the big lie.
But yeah, for sure, nervous because I remember just because the clip it was shortened. I remember they wanted a little sting.
Yeah,
and that was live. So I had to play, and I think I played. I think it's the beginning of "I'm a Pilgrim" or something,
yeah.
which is It's an old traditional song, but one I learned from a Doc Watson record. It's not played badly, but for sure I remember being scared shitless. Like it was live TV, and it was we'd never done it before. But yeah, it was definitely what it was.
Super earnest.
Yeah,
Nailed it.
Super earnest.
I know if it were me and I was asked to play a little Sting, I would have busted out some Roxanne. A little message in a bottle, huh?
Track 4.
Alberta, let your hair hang low. I saw her first on an April morn. She walked through the mist in a field of hay. The sun lit her hair with its golden hue, and the smile on her face burned my heart away. Alberta, let your hair hang low. Alberta, let your hair hang low. I'll give you more gold than your apron will hold, if you'll only let your hair hang low.
Alberta.
But Josh was talking about it earlier. Andy's vocal and as being one of the highlights of the record. Tell us about this tune and your history with it.
Andrew Cash. I think we learned this song from Andrew.
He would play it at the acoustic meltdowns
that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, and we really liked it.
Yeah,
and
we
his version was great.
Yeah, it was great, and I guess we kind of stole it. Would be the.
Well, we were also. I think he learned it from a Doc Watson record.
And it makes me think of Martin Cash, one of Andrew's brothers, had owned this record. It was I think it was called The Essential Doc Watson. It was a double record, and Andrew had it, and I think he must have lent it to us. So we learned Alberta. I already knew I'm a Pilgrim. That's a song that I learned from a guitar teacher when I wanted to learn how to finger pick. And probably I know I learned the Doc Watson version. And there's a few other tunes from that record that we did.
Jimmy Rogers.
That's right. I was a stranger. Little Old Me Wise.
Yeah.
A real party number.
Murder ballad. Nothing like a good old murder ballad to get the party started.
Oh, yeah.
But Alberta, it's a beautiful song, and still don't entirely know where. I think it's an old English folk song.
Right.
I don't know what the lineage is. We've been trying to figure that out with this record, but it's just a beautiful tune, and Andy sings it so great. And again, it was live, and I think we maybe ran it with Jimmy once, and he knew the tune, and we sat together, about 4 or 5 feet apart, and played it, and no headphones, and Andy sang it, and it's really, it's definitely a highlight of the record for me.
Yeah, I think Odetta recorded it, and she called it Roberta, but I couldn't find it, so I
think, if my memory serves me right, there's a version that Leadbelly did as well, and there's there's this weird, confusing Karina. There's that song that, I don't know if you know the Dylan song. It's a traditional tune. Bob Gibson was another folk artist that recorded it, which is where I think probably Doc Watson heard it. He recorded it in 50s. I know all this because we're trying to figure out who wrote it and where all the publishing was. So anyway, I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's just it's amazing that it has this mystique about it, but it feels like part of what we've tapped into on this recording. It's kind of has its own energy and its own life, which is cool. It totally resonated with us the first time we heard Andrew play it and sing it.
I think it's so fascinating that the two of you gravitate to the source material, the stuff that influenced you, the songs that you guys didn't write on this record, you know, true country music, true music given to us by blues guys. You know, like, I have no thesis here, but I just think it's fascinating and excellent that we're not chasing anything like our own little take on Sabrina Carpenter's Espresso or whatever the hell that is. You know, I just love that. Is that the name of the song? Is it Espresso?
You're looking at the wrong
Espresso,
person at this point.
Sabrina Carpenter. I watched it with the sound off. That's why I don't really know the title of the song.
That'll be on our 21st record.
Yeah.
But yeah, do you feel like you're part of this long tradition of these types of songs? I mean, is there a certain pride or just a good feeling playing these songs that have been around so long? Not just your own, but songs that have been around since the 30s or...
I think we were right from the beginning of playing together, hoping that we would be able to perform and write songs that had a timeless quality about them so that they wouldn't be identified with any movement or snare drum sound at any particular time.
Def Leppard drum sound of the 80s.
Yeah. And the way I think of it, and this is a little bit of a cliche, but I think that we never set out to reinvent the wheel, but maybe to be another spoke in the wheel of traditional songwriting and performing.
You know, as you're learning to write your own songs and you're learning to perform, as we were doing at that point, you know, you sort of plug into these things that are real sort of north stars of what you can achieve, and it's a stepping stone into developing your own voice and your own
and learning about how songs are written and arranged. And something we've never been good at is picking the actual chords and melodies of the songs that we're trying to learn, so they always end up being slightly askew and more like us than we're not very good at imitators.
Or being faithful to the, Dark Hollow being a good example.
Yeah.
Tom Dooley,
we
did a version of Tom Dooley,
which is just nothing like the...
just the lyric.
Just
you
the
made
lyric,
it your own.
Yeah.
All right, now we come to track 5, which is the last track of...
We'll call it side 1, the last track of side 1, and then in the next episode we will visit side 2.
Leslie appears on Skydiggers' first album, 1990. Does that feel like yesterday?
Not really.
Yeah, not really to me either.
No. But yes, you know how time is that rubbery
Yeah.
thing where, it doesn't feel like 36 years ago.
Around this time, I had moved back from England, like 1985-ish, and I had heard about Wayne Stokes. And Wayne and I ended up getting a house together. And he was working at a music shop, and he was compiling a studio, a home studio, very similar to Jamie Stanley's studio, Umbrella, that we were talking about, that we recorded West Montrose, the 45 on. And in that time, Andy, Directive 17 were sort of petering out, like it was sort of towards the end of that relationship. So Andy used to come over to this house that we rented, and we would smoke a lot of pot and write, play songs. And Wayne was also building the studio. It was in the basement of this house. And I always joke, I think we spent more time looking for the tape measure than we did doing anything else. Anyway, there were a lot of songs that were born out of that time, sort of pre-Skydiggers songs, Leslie being one of them. And the original version and the version we used to do live was a lot more up-tempo, and it had this sort of, Andy and Wayne would do this patty cake thing. It was,
Which came from you and Wayne did it.
Yeah,
first.
I think it was from Simon and Garfunkel's song, Cecilia, maybe? That
could be. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
You're shaking my carpet with bay leaves.
Yeah, it was a bit of a, what's the gag, an empty net goal. People like the stomping and the clapping.
It was
it was
crowd pleaser.
Yeah,
Wayne
yeah.
would come out from behind the drums, and,
Right.
and he and I would do this while Josh was trying to play a solo. And it was just.
And Pete sang. It was a cool way, and Wayne sang as well. Like Wayne, great harmony singer. Like he had a great blending voice, and it worked really well with Pete and Andy's voice. Like that really defined that first record. But I don't really remember where that. I mean, it's a drop D. For all the music nerds out there, it's a drop D tuning. Yeah. I think of songs like The Who, and different people use that kind of tuning, but it's just a rhythmic thing. When we ended up recording it, it didn't really translate. The live version, that energy did not translate, so we totally slowed it down. And Louis Melville was playing steel on that record. And I remember the night we recorded that, there was a power outage, and then we had recorded a version of it, which was really slow and really moody, which is what ended up on the first record. And it's also cool, and we did it live for a number of years. But when Wayne left the band, and we started playing bigger venues, it's sort of, that energy and that gag sort of, you can't tell the same gag that many times. It stops being funny, I mean, I know for sure we did it in that first tour we did with Blue Rodeo. It was such a visual thing. It was a great energy to bring. And we were playing in some really great rooms on that tour. It translated well. So it was just one we don't play it very often.
No.
So it was fun just to record it. And Jimmy's playing a mandolin or mandola, I'm not sure what it is. But,
and to bring the energy back up a bit as well. It's more, I would say the tempo is more the original version of the song.
When you look back at stuff you created 40 years ago, I have trouble watching some of the things I used to do because I'm way better now. But is it comforting for you two as songwriters to revisit some of your early material and say, yeah, we nailed it then, we're going to nail it again, as opposed to, I can't believe is there something awesome about that reassuring? Not that you need reassurance, but kind of cool to revisit something from those years ago, and it still stands up for you.
Yeah, well, that gets back to the, our initial mission statement, which was to hopefully come up with things that have a certain, I'm not sure that
You said
I
timeless.
should say timeless.
Yeah, you said timeless earlier.
Yeah, but I think you know what I mean in that we could grow old with, that we could age with, and not be hopefully embarrassed. I mean, the thing for me listening back to old recordings is the thing that I am most sensitive about, or whatever the word is if I'm singing with a little bit of a twang or
Or in English. When he's speaking with an English accent in between songs.
but it's more I hear finding one's voice is a lifelong pursuit. I find I don't think you ever quite arrive at that spot where you're like, oh yeah, I'm here, I've arrived. You're always trying to find your authentic self, and of course one changes over one's lifetime, so therefore your voice changes as well. But yeah, it's been nice to revisit some of this material for sure. Some of it we still play regularly.
You mentioned that finding your voice thing as an artist. I remember when Peter Townsend put out the All the Best Cowboys Have Chinese Eyes record, which I quite liked. But I remember seeing an interview where he was like, I feel like my voice has finally matured. And I remember thinking, man, you're 45. Your voice should be mature by now. But now that we're all at that age, I understand it.
Yeah.
And I hear it in your voice and in your voice, which is very interesting. And I think there's probably a lesson in there for everybody who's still listening to this episode, yeah, that's right.
They put the 20-minute timer on their podcast.
Yeah, dinner's ready. But,
Hey, Tim, wake up.
Yeah. It's that life of an artist of like, here's this thing which I'm not there yet. We're going to try it again. There's something very beautiful about that. Thank you for sharing that.
And you talked about not, never necessarily saying, okay, I've arrived. But however, Andy, I don't think I've really talked to you much about or asked you many times, was there a time in your life when you were younger when you knew that you could sing? Because you've been given this gift.
I've always sung.
Straight
I realize, as walking to grade 2, I'd be walking along the street and I'd be singing. I've always loved singing.
Do you remember the first time you ever had like someone else's reaction to your voice saying, hey, you're kind of good?
No.
Like your parents or anything?
No.
Andy, stop singing.
Yeah, no kidding. I reached a point, in my life where I was searching. And I realized I was going out to hear bands play in Toronto. I was going out to hear the Hi-Fis, which was morphed into Blue Rodeo. It was Jim and Greg and L'Étranger, Andrew Cash's band. And I thought I would love to do that. I'd love to be in a band. And so, yeah. I think I've told the story about hearing this band at a pub at McMaster in Hamilton and going up to them afterwards and saying, I really like you guys, but you need a singer.
Yeah.
And that's me.
And that was Directive 17?
Yeah, and I hired a studio to do an audition. And that I've never done that for anything else in my life. I don't know why I did it that time.
Did you arrive with your own microphone?
I did not. That was another. I've told that story.
No, but you got to tell it again.
I don't think you've told it on this podcast.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
It's a great story.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Well, I had dropped out of Western. I was 18 or 19. I was 19 years old. And I started looking in the Toronto Star for musicians wanted. This was, like 1978. And I saw this ad. I called up and I auditioned for a couple of bands. And one of the bands I auditioned for, they were rehearsing in a church basement. And I went in, and on my way in, there was a guy coming out with Robert Plant hair and his own microphone.
Oh, no.
And I went in.
Double whammy.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Talk about feeling inadequate.
Yeah, no kidding. It was like, I am way out of my depth. And it was like, they said, do you know Highway Star by Deep Purple? And I was like, no, I don't. And what do you know? What do you know?
Yeah, what did you come prepared for?
Aqualung.
Oh, wow.
So I sang a little bit of Aqualung because my brother had the record, and I used to listen to headphones in the basement.
Can't believe that band were a thing.
I know.
The guy standing on one leg playing the flute.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was, but seeing the guy on my way in, the guy coming out with his own microphone, it's like, and the fantastic shoulder length curly hair was, I was
Good for you for doing going to an audition.
I went to another one.
I would never have done that.
I think it was on Markham Street, south of Bloor, and these guys, probably U of T students, were a blues band, and I remember auditioning for them, and I just remember them saying, "I like your energy." They didn't say anything about my voice.
Right.
They said, "I like your energy," and I was kind of like, "Okay, well, let's start there."
Yeah. But didn't you guys find the West Coast Millionaire from a TV newspaper ad?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah. So there you go.
I got Josh to call because I was afraid of the telephone.
Oh, yeah. Did he audition per se?
He came over with his Alien 2 bass.
He came down to check us out.
That's right.
At the beverage room.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's right.
And I remember afterwards, we met him and talked, and I remember saying to Josh afterwards, "I don't care if he can play a note. He looks so fantastic. He's in." He had the great sideburns and
he arrived in stonewashed, or acid washed. Sorry, it's still.
They had the curve back then.
no,
And he had borrowed a bass. It was like one of those Steinberger guitar basses.
Yeah, no
headstock on it, and it looked really. He was anyway.
But he was great.
He was
perfect.
Yeah.
As the Violet Archers say, this is the end of part 1.
Nice one.
Woo.
Circle of Life. You've been listening to Employee of the Myth. Thanks to Andy Maize and Josh Finlayson. Skydiggers' new album, West Montrose, is available June 5th, wherever music is enjoyed. Today's show was recorded by Tim Vesley at the Woodshed Studios in Toronto. The podcast is hosted and mixed by Jane Gowan. If you enjoyed this conversation, please rate, review, share, subscribe, and play it loud. For all your news and dates, please visit skydiggers.com. I'm Joel Stewart. Thanks for listening.
Don't look to me for the answer. I don't know nothing anymore. I'll do my best in the meantime and wonder what it's been for. Je t'aime toujours, mon amour. Je t'aime toujours, mon amour.
Is it rolling? Rolling.
We're rolling.
Though the streams are strolling, keep them doggies rolling, rawhide.
Get 'em up.
Rain and wind and weather.
Cup of tea.
Hell, move 'em on.
Get 'em up.
Head 'em up.
Hit him up.
Move 'em on, head 'em up, rawhide. Cut 'em in, ride 'em out, cut 'em in, cut 'em out. Ride 'em in, rawhide.